Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Wednesday, March 30th, 9:36 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. And I just realized I forgot to send out notifications I was going to start. So, okay, well, maybe you're going to see this afterwards, or maybe you'll catch up if you see the notification. Anyhow, here we go. BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there as always. I'm going to put these in the live chat right now, a link to both of these YouTube videos. Okay. And you've got Trade Genius. They have a podcast, and it's actually really, really valuable. They've gotten to doing it daily. It's a look at the traditional market, commodities around the world, and it's a look at also crypto at times. So Bob Kula comes on, total genius, and it kind of gives us an overview of what he saw that day. Or sometimes it's pre-market. They're still kind of figuring it out. But definitely, if you want to get kind of a worldview of what's going on, these are short and to the point and very, very powerful stuff. So worthwhile giving that channel a follow. Also, Alex Cristoforo, Cristoforo, cool name. He is doing an amazing analysis of Ukraine, Russia, geopolitics, and of course throwing NATO in there. And this is actually very powerful stuff. I think this is really worthwhile checking out. If you so desire, give him a follow. It really is daily updates on really deeper stuff about negotiations and how things are going. I mean, what's actually happening there, and then what, of course, the mainstream media is just babbling on about are completely two different realities. So this guy's given amazing updates. I think it's worthwhile if you want to follow that situation deeper than the mainstream hooligans are representing it. Also, check this out. A cannibal CME is approaching the Earth on March 28th. Sunspot AR2975 unleashed a frenzy of solar flares, more than 17 in all. There were 11 C-class flares and 6 M-class flares. At least 2 full halo CMEs emerged from the chaos. Click to watch the storm clouds leaving the sun. So anyway, this may be of interest to you. Our sun is getting very, very active this solar cycle. There's one halo, boom, and then here comes the second, boom. So anyway, maybe hard to see, but you can see both. This is just kind of looping. Well, anyway, the sun's been very active recently, and if we go over here to the Solar Prediction Center, if this will work for me here, come on, run, go. Okay, it's not running. Here we go. I'll play. You can see this actually models and predicts the actual CME, how it's going to affect us. So here you'll see the CME in a second. Boom, there's one. Boom, there's two, as you can see. And then we're the Earth right here. So and this is a prediction of the plasma density, which is basically charged particles. So the electricity-wise, we kind of get a shock instantly through these waves that you're seeing here. These are actual electric magnetic waves. So pretty much as soon as we have a CMA, since we're in the Earth's ionosphere ultimately, or yes, actually magnetosphere, I'm sorry, for the sun, you feel these instantly. But so this is just something of value you might want to check out if you just be careful. Next couple days through about the 1st, we do have a tremendous amount of unprecedented sun activity going on, and this is actually hitting the Earth. So the thing is, it's like, imagine that you are like the Earth's ionosphere and magnetosphere ultimately is the Liberty Bell, and you're like throwing or a big bell, if you're not familiar with the Liberty, like a big old ancient church bell made of iron, and you're throwing a bowling ball at it like at 100 miles an hour. It's like bong. Well, the thing is, we're kind of used to that, but with the current GSM solar cycle, our ionosphere is very, very weak. So these solar happenings right now with the sun, we don't know how they're really going to affect the Earth. This is not going to be a quarantine event. It's not lights out, but just be wary. Have your crypto backed up on a hardware device a bit if you can. Have your extra water, because most likely in the next year or so we will see some. We're going to catch some effects from the solar cycle beginning on the sun. The 11-year solar cycle is cranking up, while our ionosphere continues to wane in a larger 400-year cycle that it has. So we don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have two CMEs kind of hit the Earth on top of each other, plus just the extreme amount of solar activity that we've had with the Class Cs and the M-class flares. Unlike many people, I don't think this is just, don't worry about it. It's not like the world's going to end, but hey, maybe, something might happen. Look, if you look right here, You can see how many sunspots we have active, and so many are Earth facing right now. This is insane. So the sun is starting, it has an 11-year cycle, kind of summer, winter, summer, winter, and then of course, which is more like active, inactive, active, inactive. Right now, the solar flares and sunspots, your CMEs, everything, C-class flares, threads, uh, as they call them, are just bursting up there, and this is really intense. So I won't belabor this. Sorry to spend so much time on it. But if you want to check out spacewither.com, let me actually send it to you right now. This is a great place. And there's another one I don't have pulled up right now. It's which has even more in-depth info you can see on one page. And I'll show that to you show it to you tomorrow. Really, watch the sun right now, because we're moving into a season where you never know. You may have to deal with like the grid being down in your area for a day or something like that. I mean, I don't want to be a doomsayer, but do realize historically the sun runs the show, man. So 3.3 billion in Bitcoin trading volume explicitly today. That is good stuff. We're above 3 billion, but we are decreasing in volume recently, and it's Wednesday. Let's see how this week goes right now. If we look out here, we have 3.5 billion over at cryptometer.io. We're up about 0.57 in trading volume last 24 hours. That must be recent. Anyway, but market buy orders are down 4.3% and sell orders are down 9.12%. So basically, that says, let me have to refresh that while we go forward here. Let me make sure is that valid? Yeah, 3.6 billion. Okay. So anyway, our trading volume for Bitcoin explicitly is definitely starting to wane a bit. But if we're staying above 3 billion, that's pretty darn good. It's Wednesday. Let's just watch, because if we start to trail down as we head towards the end of the week, that's probably going to be for kind of a weekend. Now, looking at coin market cap here, as you can see, the big exchanges, you see the red numbers here, they're beginning to wane in spot trading volume as we head towards the end of the week, or it just could be today. But definitely on the 7-day graph over here, you can see a definite sudden trail off in volume. So, but Binance is holding 26 billion. That's a lot. I mean, gosh, we're going to get back to the days where you see 30 billion, 50 billion on Binance, like we had when we were in a previous bull cycle. So that's kind of a good thing. Coinbase is over 3 billion. I like seeing that. Crypto.com is hitting 3.3 billion. That's really, really wonderful. So really, for spot trading, it's waning, but it's definitely holding in there. We have big numbers, good volume numbers, but they are beginning to decrease as we head in towards the end of the week. Oh, and let's not forget derivatives. All you longs versus short-term maniacs, 66 billion up 0.13%. This is insane. So 70 billion, you are really, really rocking. 50, you're doing okay. 66. So we're actually at 66,600 and 68. Oh my, 66,668. Well, there you go. If you need any like Illuminati symbolism to that sign you were waiting for, well, there it is. All right. So Bitcoin, looking at Bitcoin and the top 100 alts. Bitcoin hanging out at 47,211. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Zilliqa up 51% last 24 hours. That's insane. Zill lost its mind. SNX, whatever synthetics network is up like 16%. Solana, thank heavens. Definitely Solana will probably, it will not surprise me if it ends up like at least number 3 during 2022 in the ranking. Solana definitely is going to be something that I think for many things takes Ethereum's place. Just because the Ethereum gas fees are retarded. So Solana up 11%. I like seeing that. Whereas little Shiba Inu up 2.2%. We have a mix of green and red in the market today. VeChain, I think, was getting its ass hammered yesterday, but today it's up 13%. So this is nice. This is good. Nice steady increase in the market with some big winners. Cool. Good to go. I like seeing that. So in general, the market is a mix of green and red today, but mostly green, if not just barely green for most alts. A couple kind of in the red just a little bit. Some alts just friggin' rocking. So we got a strong foundation for the alts right now, even with the waning volume for Bitcoin. The alts really are not quite seeing that waning volume as much. And you can tell that looking over here at the at spot trading volume across the big exchanges, even though the volume is beginning to lessen a bit, but overall we still have really massive volume compared to recent weeks. All right, now Looking at this, longs versus shorts on Binance. Let's refresh this thing. 52% long, 47% short for Bitcoin on Binance. So we have switched from kind of a short bias to a long bias. It's very, very slight, but we have a neutral to a long bias on Bitcoin on Binance. There you go. And of course, for Ethereum, 54% long, 45% short. So Ethereum and Bitcoin have a long bias, but I would say it's very slight if you ask me. Oil today, crude right here, it's another green candle today. It's at 106. And it's funny how even though we look at world news and everything, stuff is very, very predictable. You could only look at charts and you would be able to do well in the market because, you know, this green one here, this green moving average, sorry, is chemtrails. We're getting chemtrail these days, quite heavy here in the Arizona area. Anyway, 50 moving average, you know, the bodies went down to it. This one here, we had a wick down to it. So, I mean, really very, very predictable. So right now we're back above the 21 WMA. So oil looking to get a strong chart once again, making a 50 moving average bounce yesterday. Bam, there you go. So oil continues to move upwards, even with some extreme volatility. It's $106 a barrel. Looking at dollar strength index, it's below the 20 WMA. Looking like it's going to do a 50 moving average bounce maybe, but it's a red candle today. So dollar strength index in the potty today. All right, looking at S&P 500. It's funny, yesterday opened with a gap, but today it was a gap yesterday and a green candle, but today it's a red indecisive candle. So far a red candle today for that. Russell 2000 index, a red candle for them today on the daily. Gold, after a recent kind of getting hammered in the market, as you can see, once again, the charts, everything sort of follows the magic of the universe here. It really does. So for gold, you've got your wick down yesterday to the 50 moving average, and now a bounce. Now it's going to challenge the 20 WMA. So in general, gold, a strong green candle after some serious dumping. Silver, today a green candle breaking the 314 moving average on the daily chart and challenging that 20 WMA. It did wick down yesterday below the 50 moving average to the 200, made a bounce. There we go. Market definitely volatile, but overall moving upwards. Dollar strength index on the way down. Good. Actually is good for the world and the market. This is something I want to look at. I should actually screenshot this and make it the show cover. But this is basically buying the ruble with the dollar. Okay, so if you had bought, you know, rubles with dollars recently, I wanted to make this here. You can have your own views, you know, politically. It doesn't really matter. I'm just these are my, you know, markers that I'm using, however you see it, doesn't really matter. The marker's the marker. You can label it whatever you want. I call it Putin pushes back against globalist aggression. Yeah, Putin pushes back on globalist aggression. This was the when Russia went into the Ukraine. As you can see, the ruble dumps against the dollar big time. But now look here, right about here, when we were finding some support in the 0.5 fib level, actually regaining 50%. Gold back ruble announced around 50% recovery, and now look where we're at. We're basically about 75% recovery right now. So I'm just saying, this is how wars will happen now and in the future. Basically, we are sanctioning AF out of Russia, which we already were doing, but and along with some of the other BRIC nations. Well, they're just basically going to start gold-based currencies, you know, and also they are trading in Bitcoin. It is alleged. I am not sure if I've really seen evidence of that, but basically oil, gas, etc. And then of course we have Russia saying, hey, you know, we're doing like pegging like 5,000 rubles to I think what, an ounce or a gram of gold or something like that. And you look at it again, but they're kind of working on making that standard, and they're saying, hey, look, man, European Union, you're buying our gas and oil with rubles or F-offs right now. That's kind of, and it's funny, if you look right here, we're finding a little bit of resistance at the 786 at the 75% mark here is for recovery. And it makes sense the way everything just kind of works together. It's rather magical, where that's a natural place where you're going to find some resistance, you know, as you're moving up, but also we're hitting that spot as we run into those difficult negotiations of how the EU is going to pay for oil and gas from Russia. So natural spot to stop. So it's a natural spot to find some resistance. But look at these wicks up and down. What a volatile day. And of course, where did, you know, Russia announce the gold back ruble? Right here, around 50% recovery on the fib. So I'm just saying, Mr. EU and well, my beautiful country of America, you're losing this situation, because I think this chart here can tell you more about what's going on with the Putin pushing back against globalist aggression. I think it can, whether you see it that way or exactly the opposite. This will tell you more about the war and what's going on, and than anything else. This right here is pretty much, I'm telling you, CNN should. Well, I can't do it that way. Let me actually let me do it like this, and I will keep this moving. I don't want these to be long. I will really avoid having these long at all. Copy. There we go. I'm going to put this here in the live chat just so you can have that if you would like a link to that. Now we'll keep moving, but really, this is the War and Peace report right here. You want to know what's going on? Look at this, and you'll see who's winning this conflict. When we get back to basically, when we get back only a few percent up to when this started, when Putin pushed it back against, it really should be NATO globalist aggression is what I should say. Also, if we actually cross this 200 moving average here on the daily, and we basically are back where we started before this conflict started, as far as the ruble strength, and it's gold backed, guys. Well, there you go. That's going to be a different day. Okay. BitcoinDailyView.com. Follow that. I need to actually get some like an RSS feed there or something, so I can kind of keep people updated with things that are going on. Because I know a lot of people don't do Telegram, and I'm thinking about like a RSS feed where I can kind of post things, news and charts throughout the day, but also possibly maybe even like a mailing list or something like that. But anyway, any suggestions, let me know, just to kind of keep in touch. Basically, Bitcoin versus USDT on the weekly chart. As we can see, the weekly MACD is still looking very positive. We're above the those are what I think, right? WMA 20, 314, 50. Yeah, so basically we are above we just challenged the 50 moving average. Well, actually that last week. Now this week we basically started above, and we've kept above the 50 moving average on the weekly. We're above the 20 WMA. We're way above the 10 moving average. MACD is looking powerful. So weekly chart is definitely giving positive velocity for any smaller time frame. Bitcoin versus USDT here on the daily chart. We're above most of the important averages. We right now are waking up to and challenging that 200 moving average. When we get above that and find support, that's going to be a big deal. It's the white moving average there. It's fine to find some resistance right there. It would be expected because it is a big deal. Many people watch that. When that happens, we are bullish as fuck. That's how it goes. When we find support there, boom, that is going to be the next massive run that we see for Bitcoin. Whether it's all-time highs or not, I don't know, but definitely it very well could be. We have this very beautiful positive MACD cross. Positive MACD on the daily. As you can see, the tangent's beginning to wane just a little bit, and that makes sense because we are challenging a very important thing. All eyes on this. Have an alert, because when we actually get above this 200 moving average on the daily and find support there, it's full on rocket ship to Pluto bull mode. Okay. Bitcoin on the 45-minute chart, looking for the immediate kind of price action right now. As you can see, we've moved up pretty aggressively. Directional index is in the red. ADX is slowly gaining. The squeeze indicator is showing a negative move. SMU binary candles are moving towards the negative. KRI is actually showing a little bit of a spunk right now. And that does make sense because ultimately Bitcoin is beginning to push a little bit right now. But it's way above the 200 moving average. Even the bottom of the RSI cave is above that. We're looking good. Green Madrid ribbons. I like what I'm seeing right now. Stochastic RSI is showing a positive upwards tangent, and in the waves and oscillator by Lazy Bear, it's actually in agreement. When these two are in agreement, boom. So I definitely think we're going to see a sideways and an upward day today. Looking at Shiba Inu, because a lot of people that I know are big into SHIB. Okay, so the thing is, this Fibonacci sequence started back on February 3rd. We kind of given a lot back. We hung out at the 786 for a while. And now we are above the 618 golden pocket. We're challenging that 0.5 fib level. Right now, we are just at it. We're struggling to find support there. When we find support there, then it'll be the 382. Basically, looking at indicators here, it's going good. Probably more sideways. I think right now the battle is just staying above that 0.5 fib level at 276. 2767 sats. If we can stay above that, find support, it's good to go. I'm actually kind of liking this because really the gains that are going to work are the ones that aren't just kind of a flash in the pan. So this is actually a nice, actually, let me actually do that. And I will not keep you guys any longer. We're going to get this wrapped up. I really trying to get these down to like 5 minutes, tops. But sometimes there's just a few things to talk about. So I will avoid making these long, but sometimes they'll be a few minutes like they are today. There you go. You've got an upwards channel. I think you can kind of make that argument that's legit. And that's really what you want. You want a sane, reasonable upwards channel. We broke the 200 moving average back here on the 24th of March, and we're staying above it. We're not too far above or below the 8 moving average. So the 8 moving average is an important thing to see. Let me actually max this out. This red moving, actually, I'm gonna do something. Boom, let me get rid of all that. 8 moving average is this red moving average right here. So you never want to be too far above or below it. And you don't want to be too actually close, pushing the top of the RSI cave or the bottom. So in general, if you look, this is a beautiful, nice, gradual uptrend with a little bit of a pump right there. And that's fine because this pump is really what you're kind of looking for. It's getting above the 618 moving average and leaving the 200 moving average behind. Now we're finding support above the 200 and the 314. So that moving average, and we're not too far towards the top of the RSI cave. This is a beautiful upwards trend. I think SHIB definitely has some high energy right now. So let's just keep watching this. If you're a SHIB fan, you're good to go. If you're a dollar cost averager in SHIB, not a bad day for that. Stochastic RSI shows probably going to see more run up today. It just got a positive tangent cross. I like that. The bottom stochastic, the RSI, not the RSI, Wavetail Oscillator by Lazy Bear does not quite agree. So we'll see who wins, but it is actually showing more uptrend. So definitely SHIB's pushing hard, but not too hard. I love this gradual ascent. This is a beautiful thing. Sol versus BTC, as you can see. This is something I like to cover because a lot of people are into Sol versus BTC, and we're seeing some serious high testosterone velocity here. This is massive. So directional index is good. KRI, ADX is in the right spot. Squeeze indicator is showing good. This is too much of a pump. Of course, we're going to retrace. All the indicators actually moved up gracefully and beautifully together. I like what I'm seeing. KRI is showing a tangent towards the downside, so this thing's going to chill. And of course, really, it only makes sense because look at this beast. Here's the 8 moving average right there on the 45-minute chart, the red moving average right there. It's going to return to that most likely, or it may find a sideways and the 8 catches up. But anyway, Sol versus BTC is 100% in friggin' crypto beast mode. And as you can see on the 45-minute chart, we have been above the 200 moving average pretty much with a couple little visits to it ever since around 16th of March. This guy is doing good. I like what we're seeing. Sol versus BTC, definitely. I'll be honest with you, it's a trade that I am in, and I'm really glad to see it moving up like this because I was in red for a little bit and it just was not my happy place, to be honest with you. Sol versus USDT cannot be forgotten. Chart pretty much looks the same chart. Basically when you have a high energy alt like this, if it's pushing this hard, it's gonna, dollar and Bitcoin chart are gonna look the same. So Sol definitely powerful. Is it a buy today? I wouldn't buy it until it retraces, and I keep an eye on it. But in general, what I like about it is when you have these beautiful, nice long trends like this, where it breaks the 200 moving average here on the 45-minute chart, and it just kind of stays there with the occasional visit. That's okay. So this guy's looking good. And actually, before we get out of here, just for the extremism of it, let's actually do like this. I think you can draw an upwards channel like this. I think you can do that. And that's friggin' powerful. That's a nice, powerful upwards channel for Sol versus USDT. And as long as it keeps pushing so hard, basically Sol versus BTC is going to look the same. Once again, however you view it, this is now we're in the red. It's indecisive. We're challenging that 786. We're going to be above 75% recovery here. Ruble against the dollar. So if you bought rubles with dollars, you are really feeling good right now. If you bought at the top, you're seeing some hope. If you bought at the bottom, you're really, really happy. But anyway, this chart I really think will tell you more about what's going on than anything else, definitely. And this guy here, Alex, I think it might be Christ 244. Is that a real last name? I don't know. Sorry. But this guy here, and this chart are going to tell you what's going on. So anyway, everybody, I remember for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, it's a better world. It's a vote for. It's actually putting foot to your prayers. It's confidence in a science fiction, beautiful future for humanity. I'm glad you're here for the truly, borderless, global, peaceful revolution that's an existence that we can't even quite fathom yet. So I am looking forward to stepping sideways into that parallel reality with everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the confidence. And HODL, damn it, this is a good time for it. Not financial advice, but it's what I'm doing.